Good morning. Welcome. We are live. A few minutes after 7 with another installment of 7 Minutes in the Morning. Today, I want to talk to you about the gears of the success machine. This is what makes the wheels turn and makes the magic happen. More on that, and how to grease those wheels. More on that right after this.
This is 7 Minutes in the Morning, where 5 days a week you get tips and hacks dedicated to helping business owners and leaders just like you find and break through the one thing that is preventing your success. And now, here's the host of 7 Minutes in the Morning and your results coach, Tom Rigsby.
Hey there, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. It is a bright, shiny Wednesday morning. Good morning to you. Glad to see that you are here. When you get here, whether you're watching live or on the replay, do as Joe has done. Leave a comment. Say hi, hello, good morning, how you doing? What the heck is a gear to success? Well, I'm here to explain all that, so just stay tuned. But go ahead and leave that comment so I will know that you are here. Before we go, I've got one request I'm going to make of you. I want you to be thinking of somebody you know that needs to hear this message today. They need to hear this message today. I'll tell you what to do with that before we go. Now to get us started and kicked off. Hope this is the right one. Yes. All this week we've been talking about this framework, how to convert resolutions into results, and this framework for success, kind of what I've been going over with you for the last few days. And here's the thing. Sometimes when I'm going through this material, I get feedback, more often than not in live workshops. But when I'm going over this material, sometimes I'll get the feedback, well, Tom, this is just common sense. Yeah, well, here's what I usually tell them. If it's common sense and it's that easy, why hasn't it worked for you? I mean, we're a little over halfway through with the material today. And I want to tell you about how to find out more information before we're finished today. But if this information seems very simple, number one, great, I've done my job, because my job is to make your results simple. Not easy, but simple. Okay? But if you look at them and think, oh, that's too simple, that's not going to work. Remember this quote from Herr Einstein. We cannot solve the problems with the same thinking we use to create them. If what you have been doing were working, you wouldn't have the problem. And yet, many times we'll want to just do this harder, faster, longer, more in order to try and solve the problem. You have to be open to changing the way that you are tackling the problem. If you're not open to that, all of this is lost on you. So enter into this. Remember to keep an open mind as we are going through this. So far this week, we have talked about this is the vision-based framework. We've talked about your vision, thinking, imagining a time as if you have already accomplished the result that you are working for. Tell me about that time. And then we set goals to help kind of measure our progress toward that. And then, of course, we set the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal, way out there at the end. Right? It should scare us a little bit. It should be frightening. It should take a lot of work in order to get there. All right? That's what we've talked about so far. Today, we're going to talk about transforming those goals into projects, milestones, and tasks. Now, if you look at this graphic, if you're listening to the show, first of all, I would encourage you to go watch today's episode, because there is a pretty cool graphic. If I do say so myself, it's simple, but very effective. You can do that at 7minutesinthemorning.com. All right. If you look at this, we've been working from left to right. We start with a vision. We figure out the BHAG and goals. Now we're going to break them down into projects and tasks. But I want you to think about this for just a minute, remembering the quote from Einstein. Think about this for a minute backwards and read it from right to left. if you do the tasks that complete the projects, and the projects are defined well to help you complete the goals and reach the BHAG, then you will achieve your vision. A lot of times what happens is we get wrapped up in the idea that, well, this is it. In fact, I had this conversation last night. This is such a huge thing. There's all these moving pieces and parts, and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. And what if this happens and that happens? And then I get a bunch of people, and I don't have a way to email them all that. Simple. Keep it simple. That's the reason we're doing it this way, right? Let me go back and show you that again. The tasks complete the projects that complete the goals that deliver the vision. Once we have this, and there's 2 other pieces left to reveal here that we'll get to this week. Well, once we get this part down, now you can focus today on the tasks and not worry about the bigger picture tomorrow. It's captured. It's just like the board back here behind me, right? All these stickies. Those are the tasks. Those are the things that need to happen. And you can't see it now because of the graphic, but to accomplish the goals on the left. Focus on the tasks that complete the projects, that deliver the goals, that get you to your vision. That honestly, in a nutshell, that's the whole trick right there. Yes, we need to know, and I preach this relentlessly, we need to know the outcome that we're trying to create. We need to know the direction that we're going. We need to know what we want to do. But don't spend so much time staring at that giant rock that you miss the little keystone pebble down here that if you just pull that out, the rock will roll out of the way. And we do that all the time. I've done it. You've done it. Maybe you're doing it right now. So how do you break those things down? Well, simple. Again, simple. Look back here at the board. Stickies on the whiteboard. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a fancy system. You need 2 things. Number 1, you need a system. I don't care what the system is. I love stickies in the whiteboard. You might love a legal pad. Might be an app that works well for you. Whatever the system is, have the system. I guess there's really 3 things. But get it out of your head, get it into the system, trust the system. That's it. So whatever works for you. Now, I will tell you the way that I do it, these stickies, no more than 8 hours worth of work. If I think something's going to take 4 days, then there's 4 stickies for it. 1 for each, kind of unit of work. So that, and here's the reason you do that, so that one task doesn't linger for days and days and days, because then you begin to ignore it. It's great. I think it's a Febreze commercial. They talk about going nose blind to smells that you smell all the time. You go eye blind to the things that stay up there all the time. If you're not moving, if there's not progress, remember progress, movement, that's what captures our attention. So break the goal down into projects. And then projects, so for a webinar, let's just use webinar for an example. One project might be setting up the webinar. Get the software, do the outline, create the documents, all that, right? That's one. Second project, separate project, might be setting up the landing page with the email and the funnel and all that, right? Separate project. But those 2 projects work together, right? Break it down into steps that make sense to you. If you need help breaking your goals down into projects, or maybe you need help taking that vision into goals, I'm going to encourage you to send me a message. Just whatever platform you're on, let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Don't do it on, whatever platform you're on, sure, go ahead and send me the message. You can also go to tomrigsby.com. Down the bottom right-hand corner, you get a little guy that pops up and says, hey, what can I help you with? I'll help you. We'll get you, we'll sit down, skull this thing out, and get it figured out for you. Joe says executing a simple task is not easy. Execution is the difficult part in problem solutions. Amalgamations of simple tasks can achieve the most difficult problems. Absolutely. I say this a lot. It's simple, but not easy. It's simple, but not easy. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it. Just like today, I'll give you a fit of pure transparency here this morning. I had a tough time getting up and getting started this morning. It's because I stayed up too late last night, but really tough time getting up and getting started this morning. And that's the tune that kept running through my head. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Even on the days where it's hard, you got to show up. That's just what it takes. All right. All right. The person that I ask you to think of that needs to hear this right now, before you go anywhere, before we end this, be sure and click on the share button below the video or audio that you're watching or listening to and share it with them. Say, hey, here's something that I saw this morning, might help. These are people who have set a New Year's resolution and they're not achieving it yet. That would be a great group of people to share it with first. All right. And the final piece, we're just scratching the surface on this stuff as we go through this week. Speaking of webinars, I am putting together a longer format video / webinar that we're going to, that I'll share with you. And in fact, I can't really see it, which is good. The office is a little bit of a mess today because I've been restructuring the whiteboard over here on this wall to use as my presenting wall. Be sure and stay tuned in this week so you can get all the details about how to get that in-depth deep dive into it. Get all the details. And I even have a worksheet for you that has instructions, tips, tricks, prompts to help you get through the process to turn your resolutions into results. So stay tuned for that. Be sure and keep listening. It's Wednesday. Have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll be back again tomorrow with another installment of 7 Minutes in the Morning. Until then, you guys and gals, have a great day.